I think we have two takeaways from this. First and foremost, I think we have the evidence that we really do have a two-tier justice system here in this country. The government has been weaponized for political purposes against political opponents of the Democrats and of Joe Biden. We see that. This is more evidence of that. Number two, obviously, this is, like you said, I've been saying this for years. I was saying this when he was candidate Joe Biden, that this man is not, mentally, cognitively fit to be our commander in chief. And it's been getting worse and worse, and more people have been seeing it, and more, they tried to keep him tucked away. But now, we have this report coming out, and like you said, we have an investigator, a special counsel from the Biden DOJ that's saying exactly the same thing, saying that this man is cognitively not fit to stand trial. That he admits that there were crimes committed, right? He had these documents. He willingly and knowingly had these documents. He shared them with people. He shared them with his ghostwriter. He told people, this is all a crime, right? And he admits that there was a crime, but he says, you know what? We're not going to press charges. We're not going to file charges because this man is not cognitively fit to stand trial. Yet the Democrats are going to tell us that he's cognitively fit to be a commander in chief and our head of state. That's ridiculous, right? That can't be the case. But now, and then, to make it even worse, he obviously gets on TV last night and he tries to, explain that he is cognitively fit, and he just completely makes the case that he's not. So the evidence is overwhelming right now. This was, I think, the first nail in his coffin. I think, Eric, that this was not by accident. I think this may have been by design. I'm just speculating. But I think that the Democrats have been looking for a way to get rid of him for a while. And I thought maybe they were going to turn the other way and let this Hunter Biden stuff blow up. I don't know. But I think this may be them, the DOJ, controlled by the progressive Dem machine and the Obama administration or whoever else is pulling the strings behind the scenes, took the collar off and said, go ahead and release the report with that language in it. And now, politically it's a problem for him. Yeah, but I think that they're trying to find a way to get rid of him.
You make a good point that some of that stuff could have been redacted. I mean, the DOJ, Merrick Garland, could have redacted. Yeah. He let it go. Last night I speculated, and it was very much speculation at the time, that maybe it was the Democrats saying, let's let the world see why we're going to have to replace him. So I'm walking through this. Yeah. Walk through this with me, Dr. Ronny. He hears the report. He gets angry. Old man gets angry, right? Which is, sign of dementia anyway, but gets really angry. I want to go talk. Yeah. They let him go out on prime time, and during that one moment where he says, I am fit, and then he screws up, El Sisi from Egypt with Obrador from Mexico, screws up the companies. Right. It's almost like they're letting him drive when he knows he shouldn't be behind the wheel.
I agree with you. I think that the people within the West Wing are doing everything that they can to keep him there. I've said before, I think Jill Biden wants to be First Lady more than she wants her next breath. Of course, the Chief of Staff and all the other staff that work in the West Wing and in and around the Oval Office, the day he leaves, they don't have jobs anymore. They lose their power, their influence, their control. So they're desperately trying to do everything they can to keep him there. But I think there are other forces on the outside within the party that have basically made the decision that this man cannot effectively run as their candidate. He's going to get crushed by Trump, just crushed. Well, they know this now, so they're desperate.
We would agree on the politics of it. Let's talk about I guess the physiology of it. What's going on? Tell us what's going on up here, and does he put the country at risk with what's going on?
Oh, of course. I mean, I think that I have a unique ability to talk about this, having been the physician for 3 presidents and been at the White House for 14 years. I know firsthand what's required, both physically and mentally, to do that job. And I know this man can't do it. I knew from the very beginning. I've been saying it, but he can't do it. But I don't know what's going on, Eric. I've said all along, I'm not going to, try to provide a diagnosis since I haven't examined him and he's not my patient. But what I can tell you is, as an outside observer, somebody with a medical background, and you don't have to have a medical background at this point to see this, that he has cognitive decline related to his age, right? Now, it doesn't happen to everybody. Some people can be in their 60s and start getting this kind of stuff. Some people can, be 100 years old and be sharp as a tack and never get anything like this. But, it happens to different people at different times. He has missed his window of opportunity to be